There's no, level of understanding of the toxicity that's for women's health. And so my next question is, he, established this campaign. Is he a doctor? Is he, how did this go about? How did he, become one of the leading pioneers in this cause overall?
Well, he's basically introduced it through Joel Modena, who brought it over here to the United States so all of us women can experience it. So it's about once we see something, we want to do something. So we can't just sit on that information and not want to share it and pass it along to everybody.
So if somebody wanted additional information, ladies, we're talking today about just our overall health and well-being and making sure that as it is Women's History Month, oftentimes we put ourselves in the back burner. We put ourselves, at the back of the table in terms of providing for ourselves. And we really want to have care and concern. And so, yes, this might be a little intimate, a little queasy here on the Power of Gospel. But, I do think that it's important for us to be cognizant of our overall health and welfare overall. And so if somebody wanted to get further information, how would they go about doing that?
Well, if you want to get further information about the Nowweno campaign, you can, we have a website that tells you more information that gets into more depth about it, which is www.nowweno.
Okay, so now we know.com?
Yes.
Okay, so it's nowweno.com. We see you. That's right. .net.
Yeah.
We don't want to mess that up. It's .net. Well, we got Pastor. Come on in here, Pastor Thomas. What are you worried about? You worried about the live streaming, or you worried about, the radio air? Come on and jump and have a seat. We miss Pastor Thomas. Go ahead and let him in, Carolyn, overall. But, it's very important that you recognize how essential it is, because we don't value one another as women. And that's the thing that we need to, to get to the bottom of. And this is the year, and I'm so glad, Pastor Thomas, you walked in. This is the year that we ought to recognize our full authority and the influence that we as women have. Do you know that we have been changing lives forever, but now we are getting some sort of acknowledgement for what it is that we have already done? And this is the beautiful thing. What's going on, Pastor Thomas?
Can't call it. I'm here. That's
you
all
here.
I know.
Well, I'm glad that you're in the building.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Look at it. Some of our listeners might have forgot what you look like.
I haven't changed one bit.
Well, thank you, Jesus, for that.
That's right.
But I'm just saying, I did want to acknowledge the value and the significance of a woman in 2018 and the strides that we have been making overall. And so, this is Women's History Month, Pastor Thomas. And so you got a lot of women in your church.
Yeah, compared to the men, you're right, I do. One of the things, and you just hit on it, that women have been shaping and molding and changing lives forever, in our community in particular, but I think across the world. I think the role of women has never been really appreciated,
right,
for their influence and the way they construct through love. Like my mother chastised me. Okay. My mother beat me. and my dad beat me.
Right.
But the beatings that my mother gave, it was clear that she was loving me and wanted me to do better.
Right.
The beatings that my dad gave me were,
be a man, son.
well, if you try this again, I'm gonna take you out.
I understood.
And my dad would always say, I'm doing this because I love you, but I ain't about it.
You didn't feel it that way.
I didn't feel it because, see, Mom had a way of moving past whatever you did.
Right.
Mothers are great when you talk about another chance. Mothers are willing to give their children another chance. And not just their children, but children in the neighborhood. They're willing to be compassionate. I've got a friend now who, we were friends as kids, but she calls me and she talks about how much my mother meant to her.
See.
Now,
yes.
What's interesting is I tell her how much her mother meant to me.
Because mothers were never really just designed to take care of their own children. You took care of everybody that came and ate at your house.
That's right.
And let me just be the first one to say this. When, I just being a mother, when kids was at my house on a Saturday night, I'm like, everybody that is here on a Saturday night, be ready for church on a Sunday morning. And if you are here in my house, if I'm chastening my kids, I'm chastening you too. And I told their parents, ain't no way in the world I'm going off on my kids and not yours too. I want to go back to those days because I like that. I was about to get myself in trouble. But because it felt like you had community
Right.
taking care of the family. And that's why I think it's important for us to begin to advocate one for another, because unfortunately, Carolyn, you're talking about, just the products that we put in our bodies overall. But how many women, are diagnosed with breast cancer? And we're in stage 3 and stage 4 because we were concerned about taking care of everybody else, advocating for everybody else, and did not take care of ourselves. And that's a problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we...
And care, and I go back through my mind to the 40 years that I've been pastoring, actively pastoring, and time after time after time, the caretaker takes flight before the person who is sick.
Right. And now mind you, that's statistically accurate. When somebody is a caretaker, and it's oftentimes women that are the caregiver, where they're providing for somebody that has suffered from a long-term illness or something of that nature, when that transpires, they predecease the person that they're caring for. And that oftentimes can come with exhaustion, stress on the heart, not taking care of yourself and things of that nature. And so when you compile it with not making sure that you are, caring for your body from the health perspective, if you're not working out, if you don't have, this place where you can separate yourself and just have a mental health break or
Right.
something of that nature, you are creating a conflict in your body that will eventually collapse under pressure.
Right. I've got a case right now where one of my seniors is sick, and she's only got the daughter.
Right.
And the daughter is still trying to work and
Take
take
care
care
of
of
mom.
mama and run the affairs and take care of the household. And I talked to her a couple of weeks ago, and so I put her in touch with our person who does our health care for the church. And the first thing she said was, "Reverend, what do you want me to do?" I said, "Well, I want to give her somebody who she can first talk to without feeling guilty, like I'm abandoning or
My
I
mother or
want to
my
abandon my mother."
responsibilities.
But the other thing is, maybe you can set up some kind of rotation
Right.
where on the weekends she at least gets 4 to 6 hours where she can go and do her. What a great break that would be after working all week, that you get some time
To yourself.
And we could certainly send a couple of women from the church to go and sit with her, who talk to her about old church times and yada, yada, yada.
And provide fellowship in a way that
That's right.
makes it extremely valuable, not only for the person that's sick, but you're really showing yourself to be community for the individual that is being that primary caregiver. Carolyn, would you like to join in terms of your thoughts?
Yes, and sometimes it's hard, like when you get juggling, you got so much stuff going on where you have different loved ones that's like ill, and you're trying to worry about them and all these different things. Sometimes it gets so much to try to juggle, and that actually will help, like play a good part, like helping out as far as like sending people to kind of check on them and make sure things are right. Because sometimes people may not want to tell you, or may not show it.
And that's the other thing, this is one of the reasons why, I was quite okay with you coming up and sort of sharing something that was very important, because the lack of information
Yes.
that we share is unfortunate, because it is our demise. It is really what kills us prematurely, because we're not willing to share with individuals the things that are not good for us. And when we know better, we do better. When we know better, we make adjustments in our life and our lifestyles overall. And I think that becomes essential. Now, what I need to do, everybody, and believe it or not, this is not typical. I want to say thank you so much, Carolyn, for coming on The Power of Gospel. And I'm just going to keep it running live overall. But, we are at WRSU 88.7 FM. Again, Carolyn, before you leave us, please let everybody know where it is that they can get information from as well.
Yes, you can get information about the camp, the Nowweno campaign, at going to www.nowweno.net.
She got it. Thank you so very much. And at this time,
I just want to show this here.
okay, That is she's doing a brochure or what have you, and we will put the details up. It's Inspire Network, Now We Know, and this is Carolyn M. Page is the independent distributor or what have you. I will make sure that I put the information up on the website so that everybody can see it. Check out thepowerofgospel.com. But it is now 9:33. I'm a few minutes late for this, but hear me very clearly. Coming up Monday night at 8 p.m. on WRSU, it's another edition from the archives.